Newegg decides that they might finally be done with their shady crap. Intel is delaying their GPUs, and it looks like there's another crypto hack. Let's get into hot news, everybody. I'm your Brett host. We're going to be going over the hottest tech news I could find on the internet while you enjoy your breakfast. And we're going to start off today's story talking about Newegg and specifically their response to the Gamers Nexus situation that's been ongoing for several weeks. And in case you're not familiar with this, I'll give you the TLDW, which is essentially Gamers Nexus bought an open box motherboard from Newegg. They returned it unopened. They didn't even check the box. Newegg rejected that RMA, stating that Gamers Nexus had bent the pins that were in the motherboard, to which Gamers Nexus replied, how is that possible? We didn't even open the box. Newegg actually ended up sending the box back to them, at which point Gamers Nexus was able to do some investigation and find out that Newegg actually damaged the motherboard pins and then sent that into RMA for themselves to the company that made the motherboard and left the sticker on there that could prove all of this and show that Newegg was being shady about it. So Gamers Nexus flew out to California to have a sit-down discussion with Newegg, which they announced took place on Thursday. And as a result, at least according to Steve from Gamers Nexus, Newegg is implementing, at least verbally, some changes to their processes in order to make a better situation for everybody. So specifically saying that they've extended their hassle-free return policy to include all open box product categories, and any customer who feels they have an unresolved return issue can email their new dedicated escalation email inbox at returns.issue@newegg.com. And following up additionally that any unresolved return issue for any product, including new and open box, may be submitted to returns.issue@newegg.com. This channels a direct line of communication if needed. So it does appear to be, at least from a public facing perspective, that Newegg is changing how they're going about all of this situation. It's unknown whether or not this is just because of the backlash that's going on right now, and it might be short-lived. It's unknown whether or not this direct line of communication is actually going to yield any sort of positive sentiment moving forward. We are still waiting for Gamers Nexus, at least as of the time of recording, to post their full interview with Newegg with regards to everything that's going on there. But Gamers Nexus did have this to say on Twitter about the situation, that they met with Newegg on Thursday and have mixed feelings on the meeting overall. But the executive team they met with did take a lot of notes. This is a great step. It was one of our requests we brought on behalf of the community comments, so they did listen. More to come. And following up, saying the interview will go live soon. They just have to edit it. But Newegg needs to back up its words with actions, but the words are going the right way. I'm actually curious to hear what you think of this entire situation down below in the comments with Newegg's RMA stuff. Is it enough that they actually are doing this, or have they lost your trust completely and it's going to take a lot longer for them to actually gain any sort of respect back from you? Obviously, I kind of have somewhat of a Newegg horse in this race, but I won't be commenting on all of that. Let's just stick to the RMA side of things. But let me know what you think of the Gamers Nexus RMA situation with Newegg down below in the comments. And I'm going to let you know what I think of Intel's decision to let us know that their GPUs are delayed. Sad. I want Intel's GPUs as fast as possible. We're not getting them. Intel saying that their Arc GPUs are not coming in Q1 of 2022, rather in the spring, which likely means Q2. So getting delayed by a quarter. This is actually following up on all of the rumors we've been hearing behind the scenes that Intel was not quite ready to launch these. So we're just waiting for them to come out. However, Intel did confirm that they're working on Project Endgame, which is going to be a cloud gaming solution where they're going to have an always accessible, low latency computing experience, which is quite interesting that they're getting into this, similar to what I would expect is what GeForce Now is to consumers. Seeing Intel and Nvidia go head to head on that is actually really intriguing. I want to know more about that. Intel, give us the deets. I want to see that. But Intel also giving us some of the deets on their miners. Yes, their crypto miners, specifically the Bonanza mine, and its 3600 watt setup. It's going to be based on a 7nm die, and you can see the looks of it here. It's going to be able to produce up to 40 terahash of performance. There's tons of details about it. In case you want to know more about the US domestically produced Bitcoin mining ASIC, we'll have all of the sources down below in the comments. Nvidia also finding out that they are using their Volta architecture for their upcoming CMP 100HX mining card. Volta, that old architecture that came out before the 20 series that would just like everybody was really confused about because the Titan V cost $2,500. And we were like, are we going to get a consumer version of this? And then it never happened. We ended up getting Turing with actual ray tracing cores, but GV100 now going to be powering Nvidia's mining cards. But this seems like a good time as any to talk about Cryptostonks. Bitcoin suffering just a little bit, down 3.83% on the day to be below $38,500, not doing too well overall. Ethereum also down 3.75% to sit at 2630. Dogecoin down another 1.82% to sit at 13.7. Part of this, probably not a whole lot, but at least a small part might be because there was a $1.7 million NFT hack that happened on OpenSea. It's suspected at this point by the CEO that this is likely due to a phishing scam that was going around, and there's some speculation going around that this might be due to the Wyvern protocol that's going on with OpenSea and how they structure their contracts. So it doesn't look like your funged tokens are safe, all right? They're being funged. Actually, they're not being funged. They're just being unfunged from your fungy hands, and you have to, somebody else gets to funge your token, all right? You don't get to funge your token anymore. I'm sorry. It's just, it's not yours to funge. This is non-funged for you. And Epic Games is going to fund some jobs for their US quality testers, announcing that they're going to open up a few hundred jobs to existing contractors who have been part of their quality assessment team and just making them full-time employees. However, there will remain a few contractors on the backside of things, with Epic saying that it's going to be there for short-term needs and that there are a few exceptions in which it makes sense for both the workers and Epic to maintain contingent worker status. But it does seem to be a good direction moving forward for the game industry, where a typical, 1099 contractor job is actually going to become a full-time employee thing. I'd like to see that happening in the industry. Let me know what you think of that down below in the comments. I'm going to let you know that Intel's gobbling up AMD people, all right? This has been happening. Head of Intel GPU division is Raja Kaduri, who was picked up from AMD, and now they're getting another one. A senior fellow from AMD is now going to be part of Intel's GPU program. He was the lead SoC architect for discrete GPUs with AMD, and now he's going to be the lead product architecture of discrete GPU SoCs in the visual compute space over at Intel. Intel can't get enough of just picking up a whole bunch of AMD fellow classmates. Pat Gelsinger over there collecting AMD people like he's freaking Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet. Speaking of power, the Steam Deck's supposed to release this coming Friday, February 25th, and Valve's releasing more information about how games are potentially going to play on it, expressing that they might actually use native Linux ports where it actually would perform better than running on the Proton compatibility layer that currently is being used on SteamOS, which just essentially means that you're going to get the best of both worlds. If it runs better on a compatibility layer, you're going to play it like that, and that's going to open up a whole slew of games that you're going to be able to play, and if it runs better on Linux, you're going to get that. It does seem like Valve is just really going forward and making the Steam Deck probably one of the best handheld consoles that has ever walked the face of the earth. Sorry, PS Vita, you're losing out to the Steam Deck, and I'm losing out on this episode of Hot News because it's over. I'll see you tomorrow for another episode of Hot Tech News that's on the internet. Be sure to bring your friends, have a nice cup of coffee, drink around to the TV screen, watch Hot News tomorrow. Cheers.